Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to explore three different ways to create virtual environment in Python using Virtualenv, Pipenv and Conda. Each approach has its own strength. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, we got you covered. So let's dive right in. So first of all, what is a virtual environment? It's a self-contained directory that houses a specific Python and interpreter along with its own set of installed libraries and packages. It allows developers to work on multiple projects with different dependencies, ensuring that each project's dependencies do not interfere with one another. So first, let's look at Virtualenv. So now Virtualenv is a third-party Python package that works both in Python 2 and 3, and it actually creates isolated Python environment, and it's one of the earliest and most widely used virtual environment tools in the Python ecosystem. While it's efficient and lightweight, it lacks some advanced features like automatically managing dependencies or project metadata. Anyway, so let's see how actually we can create a virtual environment using Virtualenv. So first of all, we need to go to the terminal and we need to navigate to the root directory of the project. Now over here in this command prompt, I have a folder called virtual environments where I created three different folders for each of the virtual environments that we are going to look on. And for the first one, I will go to Virtualenv and I will consider that this is the root location or root directory of the project that I'm going to work on. And first of all, if you don't have Virtualenv installed, we need to install it first. So the command that we will be using is called pip install virtualenv. Press enter and it will install virtualenv within that directory. And I already have installed it earlier, that's why it's showing me requirement already satisfied. And the next step would be creating a virtual environment by running the command virtualenv and then the name of the virtual environment. So over here I will give it venv. Now you don't have to give it venv, so it's up to you what name you want to give. So you just need to replace this venv with your preferred environment name. So once it's done, press enter and it will create a virtual environment in that directory. Okay, I have a typo over here. Let me just fix it. Press enter. So now we can see that it created the virtual environment with Python 3.11.4. Now we can also define the version of Python that we want to use. However, over here I just used the default Python version. So now let's do dir to actually see what we have after creating the virtual environment. So we can see that it actually created this venv folder. And now once the virtual environment is activated, all the packages and dependencies that we installed will be stored within this virtual environment folder. So let's activate the virtual environment, and in Windows the way we do that is the name of the virtual environment, in this case is venv / scripts and / activate and press enter, and it activated the virtual environment. We can see on the left hand side of this command prompt that the venv is over there. So now in order to deactivate this virtual environment for venv, the way we deactivate is the command deactivate. Press enter and we can see that it came back to normal. Now we don't have the virtual environment running currently. So this is how we create a virtual environment using Virtualenv. Now if you are thinking that how you are going to do that within a bash shell, let's say in VS Code. So over here I already have that virtual environment created. So if I go to cd and then Virtualenv, and now over here the way we need to do this is source and then the name of the virtual environment / scripts / activate, press enter, and it will turn that virtual environment on. And again, to deactivate, we simply do deactivate, press enter, and it will deactivate the virtual environment. So now let's explore Pipenv, a higher level Python package that combines virtual environment management and package management. It was created to simplify and enhance Python development workflow by unifying both environment and dependency management. Pipenv automatically creates a virtual environment when we initialize a new project and automatically installs the required packages from the pip file instead of using requirements.txt. It also allows us to log our dependencies with specific versions to ensure reproducibility across different environments. So now let's see how we can set it up with pipenv. So again, we need to go to the root directory within the terminal. So I will go to pipenv folder that I have, and now if we don't have the pipenv installed, we need to run the command pip install pipenv and press enter, and it will install pipenv. Let's clear it out. So now once we have installed pipenv, now to initialize a new virtual environment using pipenv, we need to type the command pipenv and then install. So pipenv install will generate a pip file which is going to store all the dependencies and packages the way we had venv folder or the virtual environment name folder in Virtualenv. So now if we do dir over here, we can see that we have two files, pip file and pip.log. So this will tell you that there is a pipenv virtual environment created within this directory. So now to run a virtual environment using pipenv, we need to do pipenv shell, and this will launch the virtual environment. And we can see that on the left hand side again we have this pipenv that's telling us that this virtual environment has started or activated. So now in order to deactivate, we can simply do exit, and it will exit out of this virtual environment. So the same way, the same command we can also execute from the VS Code. So if we go to pipenv folder, and we already have created this virtual environment using pipenv from the command prompt. That's why we can see at this location we have this pip file and pipfile.log. So again, the same command we can use pipenv and then shell to start this virtual environment. So over here you don't see the name of the virtual environment, right? But on the right hand side you will be able to see the pipenv showing once the virtual environment has been launched. So again, in order to deactivate, you can simply do exit, and it will exit out from the virtual environment. Alright, so finally let's explore Conda. Conda is not specific to Python, but is a package manager and environment manager that is often used with Python through the Anaconda or Miniconda distribution. It's not limited to Python packages and can manage dependencies across multiple programming languages and libraries. Unlike Pipenv and Virtualenv, Conda can manage non-Python dependencies as well, and that makes it more versatile for scientific computing and data science projects. So let's see how we can create a Conda environment. First, we will open the Anaconda prompt. So if you search for Anaconda, once you have Anaconda or Miniconda installed, you will have something like this, which will have the base virtual environment running. So we can deactivate it. So let's clear it out. So now, in order to create a new environment with Conda, we need to use the command called conda create and then dash name, and following to that we will specify the name of the environment, virtual environment that we want to give. I will keep it simple, my-env, and then the Python version that we want to use for the project, so 3.9, and then press enter. So for your project, replace this my-env with your desired environment name, and for your project, whichever version of Python that you want to use, write that instead of 3.9 that I specified. So if you have done that, it will ask whether you want to install those dependencies and packages. So press Y to yes, press enter, and then it will download and extract those packages. So once it's done, it also shows us how we can activate and deactivate the environment. So let's activate the environment, conda activate, and then the name of the environment, my-env. So now I can see that my-env has been activated. So now for conda, if we want to deactivate the environment, then we need to specify conda deactivate, press enter, and it will deactivate that environment. So this is how we create a virtual environment using Conda. Alright, so we have explored 3 different ways to create virtual environment in Python using Virtualenv, Pipenv, and Conda. Each approach has its own unique advantages, so choose the one that best suits your project's need. Remember, virtual environments are essential for managing dependencies and keeping your projects organized and isolated. And when you are done working with your virtual environment, don't forget to deactivate to return to your system's default Python environment. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more programming and development related content. As always, thanks for watching and happy coding.